I fully understand Danny's feeling about killing the dog, especially since he's a super feeler. You can tell that he's one of those people that just exudes whatever they're feeling, they're going to feel it to the greatest degree. I'm also a super feeler, so this would be something that would stick with me and would definitely be something that would come up every time I was kicking on net. Anytime that we're reliving something similar to a trauma that we've experienced, we can have that flashback come back to us and definitely keep us up at night with thinking about it and the regret of it.
Ted, what are your thoughts on therapy?
General apprehension and a modest Midwestern skepticism. Why do you ask?
Oh, well, maybe we should bring in a sports psychologist.
Yeah, let's do it.
So one is I can understand his apprehension. One, you're bringing in someone into your team that you don't know, that may have their own biases, that may not be aligned with how you feel about coaching. Plus, can you see that when he says yes to it, his head is saying no really, really strongly? So he's definitely mixed. But I can understand the apprehension because a lot of people don't understand how therapy works. They think it's a whole bunch of hoo-hoo, and they don't understand that Danny has not gotten better. It hasn't gone away. And for certain things that traumatize you, that's how you know that maybe you do need therapy, is that on its own, it's not getting better, and perhaps it's even getting worse. And yes, I was saying, maybe he needs some therapy to the television screen.
I just wanted to introduce you to Dr. Sharon Fieldstone. She's going to be looking after Danny.
It's nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you.
So I understand that Danny has developed a case of the year.
Okay. First, I would love it. If someone greeted me like this, I would be over the moon. But no doubt I am a very different personality type than Dr. Sharon Fieldstone is. She is more of that opaque therapist, kind of a little bit more standoffish, very serious and very business, which is completely fine, except sometimes it can be a little off-putting.
Hey!
Okay, that's two weird things in a row. What's going on?
Okay, the next part is the first thing as a therapist. Therapists, we already put people off. I don't usually go to a party and tell people that I'm a psychotherapist because right away they think that I'm going to be analyzing them. So when she states that's two weird things in a row, I doubt, like, again, they're doing this for the show for kind of putting a little bit of separation in between Ted Lasso and Dr. Sharon Fieldstone. I don't think that most therapists would do this because right away you're, one, calling someone a name, labeling something, and immediately putting them on the defense. You think that I'm weird. As therapists, what we're trying to do is align ourselves and make people feel safe and not judged.
Well, Doc.
Doctor.
Right.
And I would never, ever correct someone if they said a word improperly or did something improperly. Again, maybe it's a different therapeutic approach, or maybe they're just doing this again to create a separation between Ted and Sharon, but it makes people feel bad. Now I'm going to have to be questioning what I say constantly and running that through my head. And in therapy, you want people to be able to speak as freely as they want. So I'm not going to be stopping someone's train of thought in order to correct their grammar. I don't think that we should be doing that in day-to-day life anyways, because it's kind of saying that I know something better than you do and just makes people feel bad.
It's a superstition?
Are not a superstition. They are a mental condition, one that can be fixed with discipline, not denial. Are you good at your job, yes or no?
Yes.
I believe you. Well, as good as you are at your job, I'm twice as good at mine.
Okay, so I can go into like a ton of this. I loved when she says, you know what, put all of that humility and BS aside and just tell me the straight truth. I often will say it not perhaps using the same language of just let me know. Here we can be honest with each other. What do you really feel about what you do? And she's cutting to the chase and doing a little bit of a therapeutic approach with Ted. And he's able to say, actually, yeah, you know what? I know I'm really good at what I do. The only piece is I'm twice as good at my job than you are at yours. I would not say that because it's saying that one is how does she know how good he is at his job? And it's a little bit of bravado. But her saying that she's good at her job is an important thing in therapy because you are having to trust someone. And if you trust someone and believe that they can help you, there's more there's a greater chance that you will go that extra distance and be able to take the steps that you need to, because no doubt, if you're not getting better, it's because you haven't done the right therapeutic approaches beforehand. And so this helps you go on that bridge that you may not be wanting to go onto.
Nice meeting all of you, and sorry to have interrupted your game. What's your record?
1,236.
Impressive.
So I thought that she was going to be a little bit dismissive or rude, and I don't see it as sarcastic. I think that she was genuinely saying impressive. I loved that we didn't expect that. Because she is not gooey and effusive and always kind, that impressive to me meant more than someone else who usually just gives out a lot of compliments. And so I think that it mattered more. Now, maybe she meant it in a sarcastic way. I'm not really sure, but me being the super feeler and always positive, I think that she really meant it, and I felt that, and I was like, good on Sharon for being able to do that. Oh, sorry, Dr. Fieldstone.
Hey, Doc, it's her. This right here, this is Danny Rojas. Danny, this is Dr. Sharon Fieldstone.
Nice to meet you, Danny. How you feeling?
Like a murderer.
Want me to stick around, help you break the ice with Danny here?
I think we'll be all right, Coach Lasso, thank you. ¿Te sentirías más cómodo si hablo en español, Danny?
I love that she goes into the office and creates a space that she feels comfortable with. You can see that she sets up the chairs so that they are not behind a desk. They are sitting in front of each other. And I think that most therapists, maybe not most psychiatrists, but like that, we prefer not to have a barrier in between us. I have a little tiny table that we can place our coffee or our tea or something that we're drinking on, but that big desk with all the books on it can often be intimidating and can be one of these antithesis to being able to form a good alliance with your client. And then you see Ted Lasso as he's asking, do you want me to stay? And I have a lot of people that have a parent or a friend, they're worried because they don't know who you are and they're entrusting someone that they care into your arms to be able to be taken care of. And so the only piece that I would have said to him as the therapist would have been, he's going to be fine, don't worry. You know, something that's kind of comforting to him, because you could tell that he's worried. That's why he doesn't want to leave. Plus, that door closing was very symbolic of that feeling of being shut out. And that's why having an alliance, also a comforting feeling that I'm going to take care of your person and make sure that they're going to feel better. Don't worry about it, is so important to those that are around the client that you're dealing with, and especially with the coaches when you're dealing with sports psychology. Again, I think that it was more for dramatic effect because Ted Lasso's so sweet and caring and everyone loves him. And so they're trying to put this kind of more of a cold atmosphere between him and Dr. Fieldstone. And that's why she wouldn't wave back. But I don't see anyone not waving back when someone waves to them. How can anyone do that? Are there people that actually do that? I don't think so, but I love that she came out to be able to watch Danny and see how he's doing. That shows how much she really does care. And when I'm out there doing an exposure, an in vivo exposure, and that is when we have trained you to be able to deal with something that you have an aversion to, and to get to live watch someone as they enter that elevator or get their ears pierced or be able to take a needle, it is like the best thing as a therapist to get to be really a part of someone's journey when they're confronting their fears. And it gives me chills just thinking about it. So I was really excited for this moment.
Good night, coaches, and thank you for Dr. Sharon. She is incredible.
I'm just curious, what did she, what ended up helping you?
Dr. Sharon helped me remember that even though football is life, football is also death. And that football is football too. But mostly that football is life.
I just love the moment. I love the moment of when someone really gets to thank you, and that feeling of how you've been able to look at things from a different perspective. We're sometimes so stuck in the facets of the way that we look at our world that we don't realize that there's other ways to look at things, and we don't always have to hold on to something that isn't our safety. Sometimes you just need permission from someone to know that you don't have to hold on to your guilt, that it's just a weight that's holding you down, not protecting you. But you see how he's interested in, like, how did this work so quickly?
A session with who?
Thank you, Sharon. For real.
You're welcome.
She's amazing.
Thierry?
Oh, yes. A few of the boys asked to sit down with Dr. Fieldstone before she left.
I love how pro therapy this episode is, how all the players are going and getting all of their issues helped, small or big, and they're not showing any shame or that they have to hide this. I do see though that the door is still being shut on Ted, and he's not into this little magical box where Dr. Sharon Fieldstone is being able to help his players, but there's still that trust that has to be built between them. Therapy is private, but I understand him wanting to know, one, how it works, and two, what exactly is happening, because he cares so much about his players. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and you'll subscribe to more.